giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom Newsleaders.
Hi, I'm James Mauser. I want to introduce a first-time guest to our studio, and I'm glad she's here, and obviously we're going to have her back for many more segments too. The Executive Director of True North of Columbia, Elizabeth Herrera-Eichenberger.
Yes,
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I can't believe we haven't done this before.
I know. Can you believe that?
Because True North of Columbia is very important for Columbia and the area.
Yes.
So there's a person out there who might never have heard of True North.
Yes.
Tell us about True North.
So True North is a dual domestic and sexual violence victim services program. All services are free and confidential. We've been in the community for about 35 years. And so anybody who is fleeing domestic violence, who is thinking about fleeing domestic violence, who wants to understand more about the dynamics of domestic violence. Same goes with sexual violence. Anybody who wants to understand more about sexual violence, who has had an experience with sexual assault or sexual violence and or human trafficking. We are the place to go. We are that safe haven that they can come and find refuge in, knowing that we believe their story and that we're going to be there for them when they need it the most.
Can we talk numbers for just a second?
Yes.
So in a typical year or of last year, how many people would you say you served?
850 people from Boone County, most of them women.
That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot.
Do you think that's a lot?
It's incredibly, and it's been increasing, and we've seen an upward trend for not only the people that we serve, but the calls that we get in. We have a hotline operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When I first started at True North 3 years ago, we were getting about 1,500 calls a year. Today, we are getting over 3,000 calls through our hotline.
So that's distressing.
It is distressing.
That's not good news.
Yeah. But it's a matter of perspective. I like that people are calling and they're seeking help.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's, the upside is that people are knowing that True North exists and that we're there to help them.
Yeah. So what are some of your services you can provide for people?
So we have an emergency shelter for women that are fleeing domestic violence or sexual violence situation. We can house them with their children. And that is a fantastic service. And so what we do at True North Shelter is we provide a holistic approach to their case management, to their situation. So they're fleeing violence. We have a skills development center within the shelter where they can learn a skill. They can learn how to write a resume, learn, find employment opportunities. We have a children's program where we can teach them how to parent their child without violence. We have support groups, master's level counselors. I have 3. I also have a spiritual serenity room where the women can meditate, pray. We have AA and NA in-house. We have, people coming from the different denominations and talk to the women about, consolidating their faith with what has happened to them. And so really incorporating a lot of resources and opportunities so we can eliminate barriers so they don't have to go back, because the average person, it takes them about 10 times to finally leave an abusive situation. Isn't that remarkable?
Oh, yeah.
I know, and we want to eliminate those barriers.
You mentioned children just a moment ago. Do you get calls from young people?
We do, and we accept calls 16 and up. And so we do. Unfortunately, we don't serve children specifically yet. Yeah. I'm not saying that might not be in the horizon, but as of right now, we don't. So 16 and up, we're able to serve them because of the laws in Missouri. And we do get calls, and those are even, everything is distressing, but something about children being in an abusive situation, an abusive relationship, an abusive situation, it's just so distressing.
Can people just stop in your office?
They could.
Where are you located?
We are at 1316 Parkade Boulevard. It's a blue building with teal awning, and you'll see our True North Star. I recommend that people call. Sure. Because that way we can coordinate, make sure that an advocate is there, then we can set up the time to really have a discussion.
Okay, 875-0503.
1-800-548-2480.
Okay, well, that's your hotline, right?
Yes.
800-548-2480. That's your 24/7 hour hotline.
Yes, sir.
TrueNorthofColumbia.org is your website. I guess you can find a lot more there.
Yes, and we're here to serve. We are honored and feel so privileged to be able to do this work. So please give us a call.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
You got to come back and do some more, will you?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, because you're the perfect guest. You've got such good information for the viewers. So I'll get a hold of you in 2020. Elizabeth Herrera-Eichenberger.
Thank you so much.